Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead. Well, I'm going to make some meatballs for the freezer, and I'm going to make Swedish meatballs for supper. So you're getting a 2-for-1 video today. Okay, in my Ninja blender I have, I don't know, over a half a loaf of multigrain bread. Now, I'm just going to add egg powder because this bread is fresh. It's not stale and it's not dried out. So it's kind of soft. So this is about the equivalent of 4 eggs, but we are not going to have the problem of it making the meatballs too soft to handle. All right, that's going to go in the bowl. I'm going to use Sam to mix this because my hands are sore. It's winter and I don't want to put my hands in cold. I don't want to sink my hands into cold meat. This is really lean ground beef. If you look at the stuff in the store that passes for medium, it's pink. It really is. 2 pounds of this. This is the hay-fed lean ground beef. Is going to do more than enough for our meatballs. So now we're going to take our half a loaf of breadcrumbs, and they're quite moist still. And the equivalent of, I'm going to say, 4 eggs. Get those onions in there. Now we're going to add some salt. Now if you don't have bread and you don't want to use bread, go ahead and use oatmeal if you want to make it gluten-free. These are going in the freezer. I'm not canning them. That's why I'm adding bread. Garlic powder. Salt and pepper. No, this is not Heinz, it's just a Heinz bottle. So we're going to give a nice generous squirt. I'm going to say half a cup of homemade ketchup. Let's take this over to Sam and let him do the heavy work for us. Now you might be tempted to use the bread hook on this. Don't. It doesn't grab it as well. All right, let's make meatballs. Now my big cookie sheets are in the freezer with peppers on them, so we're just going to use this. I don't even know what size this is. I think it's a 1 teaspoon cookie scoop, but I'm not going to make them I'm going to make them slightly bigger. I don't want these too big, but then you don't want them too small either, right? You know, I kind of want them bite size. Okay, this huge tray of meatballs is going into a 325-degree oven for 20 to 30 minutes to bake while we cook our noodles and saute our vegetables for our Swedish meatballs. Okay, here I have water on for my egg noodles. I have some peppers, some onions, some mushrooms. I'm going to open a little jar of celery. I'm going to drain off the water to use. And we're just going to throw the celery in there. We want to roughly saute these wide so that the moisture, you know, isn't too much. We just want to start the cooking process. I'm going to give these vegetables a shake and then just shut them off. I just wanted to start the cooking process. They would take longer to cook in the oven in a casserole than if you don't give them a rough saute first. Now we're going to take our can of mushroom soup. You can make whatever fancy sauce you want, but We're going to use our 69-cent can of mushroom soup. I'm just going to whisk that in that little bit of celery juice. Now remember, the vegetables are still going to give off water, but we want this to be pourable, right? A little shot of milk. We are good to go as soon as our noodles are cooked and our meatballs. Our timer has gone off. Now these are cooked, just cooked through, because they're going to end up in meals that we're going to either reheat or cook again, so we don't want them overcooked. There's our noodles, there's our veg, here's our casserole bowl, here's our mushroom soup mix. Let's get on it. Okay, we're going to spray our casserole dish. Our oven is reheated back up to 350. We spray our casserole dish with oil. We're going to throw some meatballs in the bottom, right? It's not a lot, doesn't need to be a lot because it's just me and Father. Grampus, who met his grandson this weekend and was suitably impressed. Now, we're going to take our veg. Now you can put more veg in if you want, but I just didn't want too much extra liquid. We have a nice assortment of peppers, onions, mushrooms, and celery. Lightly sauteed. Give them a shake down in there. On goes our egg noodles. Give them a shake. Now we take our mushroom soup and celery juice and milk. I'm going to pour this all over top. See, when Howard says, make me real Swedish meatballs, this is what he's talking about. I can make fancy sauces and, Swedish meatball sauces from scratch. But if it doesn't have mushroom soup, Howie's not going to call it Swedish meatballs. All right, so I put on about, I don't know, a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of grated mozzarella. And I peppered it. And this is going into a 350-degree oven. 20 minutes covered, 15 minutes uncovered. And as you can see, I've only used 1/4 of these meatballs for this meal. So the rest of these meatballs are going to be divided into 3 parts and then frozen for other meals. Supper's about to come out of the oven. I just want to show you what I did. I didn't bother bagging these. I just put them all in one tub, and they're cool now. They can go in the freezer. I can just fish out when they're frozen however many I need for whatever pantry pull meal I need. There's at least 3 meals in there. Oh, look at that. Well, I broke a couple of meatballs. Let's get some pepper on that. Take that to Papa and see what he has to say. Did you get your car dug out, sir?
I did.
And? What next? Did you get the gearbox or whatever it was you wanted out of it?
Shifter, yeah.
So you didn't really have to unbury the entire car?
No, but I want to get the weight off the springs and everything, though. That's a lot of weight.
Okay, well here's your Swedish meatballs.
Classic.
Yeah, your classic. Watch it, it's hot. Yeah.
You could always let it cool down before you bring it to me. I wouldn't mind.
Oh, here comes the mooch.
It's too hot for you, bud. Too hot. But you know you'll get some.
She was a good girl meeting the grandbaby yesterday, eh?
Awesome dog.
Oh, Daddy, come on. Give her a little bite.
It'll burn her mouth.
Well, blow on it for her. See how much he loves you, Gracie? Oh, there you go.
It's hot. Is it good?
She's looking at the camera going, oh man, if you could only taste this.
Thumbs up.
There we go. Thanks, baby. This is the Mrs. Wolfe from our half-acre homestead saying that's one of Howie's favorite meals. He calls it classic Swedish meatballs.
Yeah.
Classic the way I make it. And if you're going to go to all that trouble to make meatballs, why don't you make a whole bunch and then freeze them for pantry pull meals? Just saying. Take care. God bless.